Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Brother Sister Show, a family-owned and operated podcast where two siblings keep in touch by talking about movies. This week, we're talking Moonfall and Nightmare Alley.
And the other one, who cares? No kidding.
But before we get into that, we normally catch up. What's new? What's happening?
What is new with me? I'm on a new laptop right now, so that's
Very
nice. It's supposedly supposed to be a really nice one, so hopefully I can do a lot more like editing and stuff that I want to do.
Yeah.
Excited for that, for being able to edit more, because especially another plug, I guess, I haven't talked about it in a while, but for anti-social distance, we're coming up on a year anniversary from when we first.
Oh, really?
I forget the days because it's during Passover, and I think, oh God, I'm going to sound so ignorant, but I think Passover is not the same exact days. I think it's like, the holidays that are like, oh, it's the first week of whatever. So I don't know how we're going to do that. Like if we're going to use Passover as the anniversary. Anyways, that's coming up. So I wanted to we have some ideas, going around about, how we want to promote it, how we kind of want to remember it, because it was such a special time in my life.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and we're still getting comments. We have, Avital and I have like a shared email that we put everything, like all the YouTube stuff on, and so we get an email every time there's a comment, and we get one pretty, like more often than you would think. Like at least once every 2 weeks we'll get a comment, and I'll text her just being like, oh, new comment. And it's weird too because I'm very big into manifestation these days, and it feels like, at least for me, and I think for her sometimes she says too, we get those comments when we're kind of at least when I'm feeling down or just about anything creative I want to do. We talk about this all the time about how we want to do something and then you're like, but who gives a shit? Who fucking cares? And I have a lot of those feelings. And it usually we'll get a comment when I'm really deep into those and I'm like, fuck, okay. It's nice that even if it's one person or two people, randomly 11 months after, it still feels very nice that people are leaving nice, they feel compelled enough to leave a nice comment, because I don't remember the last time I've ever done that.
Right.
Leaving a comment being like, this was really good and I really loved it. So if you wanted to watch something that probably is a little too close to home, but is very good, makes you feel a lot of things, then Anti-Social Distance is always going to be on YouTube for the time being. So yeah.
Very cool.
What are you up to? I know you've had an eventful week.
Yeah, so basically, I have been living homeless for some time. There's
Unknowingly.
Unknowingly. There's just some weirdness going on with my name not being on the lease. It's just been a learning experience, but so I'll be moving, I think, pretty soon. So things will change a little bit in the background, but I mean, for you audio listeners, nothing's gonna change. So that's just been kind of hectic, and just trying to handle all that stuff and then focus on the lease. But there is a silver lining, because I'll have more room, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
It's like you're putting on the training wheels for when you guys move and live in.
Yeah. It's just a lot of moving.
Moving, it fucking sucks. I really hate it. Every time, and you know what's worse too is that it always sticks with you. It's like a ghost that lives in your home, because we're starting to buy more stuff for the apartment. I have a cabinet that I need to build, and the only thing I keep thinking of is that we're gonna have to move it one day. And I'm like, why did we do this? We should have just never gotten anything, never hung anything up. But you know what? I mean, you'll probably feel this once. Are you hiring a mover whenever you go to Seattle?
Yeah, I mean, that's
Okay.
a across the
No,
country.
I mean to pack and unload and all that. I know you have to hire somebody to take the shit, but
Oh, probably not. Honestly, probably not. Because we don't have a lot of stuff.
It doesn't matter. It feels like you have everything in the world when you move.
That's
If
true.
you're like, how did the fuck did I even buy all this shit? Who let me buy this stuff? My threshold for wanting to move anything, pack anything, is lowering each time. And so this last time I hired a mover to like put the stuff in this apartment. And next time I think I'm just gonna like, all I want to do is pack the boxes and I don't want to do anything else. Nothing else. I
Oh,
don't even want to like, because this one we got a U-Haul and we brought it to
right.
San Antonio. I don't want to do that. And then the next one after that, I'm not even fucking packing. And then after that, I'm going to hire a decorator. Like there's like so many things that I don't want to do.
I haven't reached that point yet.
Yeah, well, you're young. I mean, like I'm fucking 30 or something, but you're younger, so it's like not as, you know, that's what I'm saying. With each one, I feel like that'll be the same thing too.
That's a good workout. Other than that, I don't know.
Yeah, but then there's you know what? There's very skilled people in that field that can do it better than I can, because I would have broken every fucking thing.
See, part of me was like, yeah, I could do it. I could do it. 100%.
I mean, maybe you could. You're young enough. You're probably stronger than I am. You know, moving, packing, all of that is an art form. At least packing.
Oh, packing definitely is an art form.
I did it. I don't know if I did it wrong last time, because one of the movers, I don't know if he was just kind of lazy, but he was complaining about how heavy the boxes were. But like, they weren't that heavy. And what do you expect me to put in those boxes?
Yeah, they weren't that bad. I mean,
They were heavy, but like, what do you want me to do?
at least they weren't like the heavy ones were like plastic bins, you know? Like I feel like those are more sturdy than like cardboard ones I could see maybe
Nothing
that
moved.
one falling
Nothing
apart.
broke. None of the boxes broke. He was just
That's
complaining
true.
that they were heavy. So I don't know. But he said, he said one line to Sebastian that we always say. And he said, "Why so heavy, sir?" He said it like that. When we were taking like groceries up or something. "Why so heavy, sir?"
Poor guy. Fuck you guys.
The other
Why
guy
so
was
heavy?
like, fine. He was
Oh.
doing his job. Like that's why I was like, I think he's just. And also Sebastian, like Sebastian's so sweet. He couldn't just like stand there and watch them do that. So he was helping them. Like he was moving boxes too, and he
Why
was
so
doing it
heavy,
fine. He
sir?
was like, yeah, they were heavy, but they're boxes full of shit. Like,
Yeah. That's hilarious. Well, that's all I got. And I'm ready to get into some we
well,
have a lot to
first,
talk about. We have a lot.
oh, what do you want to do first?
Well,
Blu-rays.
I wasn't going to Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, let's do that.
You were gonna what?
Cuz we just have a lot of shit to talk about. We
Okay,
have like
let's do
Scream
Blu-rays
6,
real quick.
Knives Out, like the whole Netflix thing. Okay, yeah. Let's do our Blu-rays.
So
Well,
I only have one. So
okay,
should I go
then go
first?
for it.
So Sebastian called me and he was like, I just told him I wanted chocolate. That's all I wanted. And he called me and he said, pick a number 1 or 2. And I said, I think I said
Mm.
1. And when he got home, he made me close my eyes and he handed this to me. Wrath of
Great.
Man.
The greatest surprise.
And the other one was like, I think a double feature of The Quiet Place. Like, and I was like, no,
Um,
this was the correct decision. One of the worst movies I've ever seen, and I cannot wait to watch it again. And Sebastian was like, maybe we can finally understand the timeline.
So I went thrifting yesterday
Okay.
with Kayla, and so the first one isn't a Blu-ray, it's a DVD, but I had to get it. I absolutely had to get it. So it's robots, and it even has like Sharpie. It says Bobby's, so shout out to
Aw.
Bobby. And in it, the reason I got it is because in it, I honestly don't even think that the DVD can like be read because it's very scratched up. But I got it because of the like little inserts. So it came with like a little activity book.
Oh, is that what you posted?
Yeah. So the first half is an activity book. So it has, let's see, Fender's
Bobby didn't
Fine
do it?
Lines. Bobby did not do it. Maybe he was too old at that point. So it's like a maze, you know, like the like shitty things you get at like restaurants and stuff. Like word
Whoa.
search.
Are you
And it's
saving that
all,
for
like,
the kids?
It's all like robots themed. Yeah.
That's cool.
And then the back half is all like coupons. So the thing I tweeted out was, I honestly never heard of Ortega as like a food brand. Yeah, and it had some other
Interesting.
stuff of like other movies where if you like a mail-in certificate and it had like
Nice.
this is like the most dated shit ever. Like the first Fantastic Four,
Whoa.
the Elektra
Office
movie.
Space.
Yeah. So I was like, this is a time capsule. I had to get it. Well, Kayla got it for me, so shout out to Kayla. Then we went to a bookstore and I found a movie we talked about last week, I think.
Yeah.
But Push.
Push. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it. But look at Chris Evans on that. That's an action scene right there. That's a shot.
He's an action star.
Then had to get this one for Kayla, The Lightning Thief. Just because this is another one we talked about. This is like
Yeah. Manifesting. See? It works.
yeah, that is weird. And then this one just looked interesting. It's unopened, but it's My Life as a Zucchini.
It's a good movie.
Is it?
Yeah, it's really good.
I saw Will Forte and Nick Offerman, and I was like, oh, all right. Yeah, I'm excited to check it out. So that's a nice little haul.
Yeah. Makes me want to go to Half Price Books today. Maybe that's what I'll do.
Yeah.
But maybe I just need this one. Maybe this is it.
That'll last you a long time, I think.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of fun and joy in that one.
So you know what I didn't notice is like, look at all the ketchup on his, like that doesn't even look like blood.
It doesn't even look like hands. It looks like an old football. You know, like a 1920s or like a basketball.
It looks like he just had like a wild night at Buffalo Wild Wings. He was like, I have to get the mango habanero.
Aren't
they're
you
like, you
want
to wash your hands? Yeah, they're like, they have a little like wet ones thing, and he's like, no, I don't need that. All right, what else do we? You said we have to talk about Scream.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening. I just saw on Twitter Scream 6 is happening. Do you know anything, or are we just?
No. I just know that too. I think it's the same directors and same writers, but I'm like, why?
I don't think it's necessary.
I
mean, maybe it'll be good.
And I mean, I don't know. I do like the idea of them, how there was like a bunch of Scream movies for a different generation, and now they're doing it again. I kind of like the idea of that.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not as tired as like when I learned that they're doing another Halloween that I think comes out this year, and I was like, oh god, because the last one wasn't good. So maybe it's just the fact that this one was good that I'm not as annoyed about it. But I mean, whatever. It's a Scream movie. They're gonna keep making them until they're gonna outlive us. I think the Scream movies.
That's true.
So, yeah. What else? Knives Out.
Yeah, Knives Out 2, which was a part of the whole like Netflix movies, which honestly is just a showcase of like how they're all visually the same. Like,
oh yeah, I saw that, all the memes, and
it's just like the Gray Man or something. I don't know, but Knives Out 2, we saw a little like tiny teaser, just like a short clip. I'm very excited.
Especially after I told Sebastian when we went to go see Moonfall, I was like, what commercial? What trailer are we going to see now? Because I've seen Moonfall it feels like for so fucking long, and Jackass, and I was like, what are we going to see now? And then I forgot Death on the Nile. Morbius again? We didn't see Morbius this time, and I was sad because I like that one too. But Death on the Nile, that's the one, because I fucking hate that trailer. I hate it, but I really love the commitment to trying to make us forget that Armie Hammer's in the movie.
And enough champagne. That line is so funny.
Sebastian, when we sat down and or when the trailer started, Sebastian leaned over and said that exact line. And some champagne, like he said it how she says it. And that's the slowed down song. Like, why does everybody need to like be Jordan Peele? You know, I mean, I know he's not the first person to do it, but I hate that song. What song is that? Do you know?
No, I honestly don't even remember that. I just know the champagne.
Enough champagne.
And enough champagne.
I'm tired of her. I'm tired of honestly, almost every person in that movie. The only person I'm excited about is Russell Brand.
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna watch that movie. So
I know, like Murder on the Orient Express, because I like that movie. That walked so Knives Out could run, and I feel like Death on the Nile is gonna die,
yeah, it's gonna crawl into the ocean.
and so will Knives Out too. Like I feel like that's a bad, like something's gonna happen. That's a bad omen. That this like Death on the Nile is gonna be bad, and it's coming out before Knives Out too.
Well, at least I'll have that trailer and champagne.
Then the Oscars. I don't, because that's the nominations are coming out the day after this comes out. So what's happening? I don't know anything.
Know. Honestly, the Oscars never fail to make me upset. Every morning that they come out, I'm just like, I know I'm gonna be mad, and I expect nothing less than to be upset. So,
what do you think is gonna upset you the most?
Kristen Stewart not being included. Because, come on, what are we doing? Maybe for like Pig, like movies like that are my top, not being included at all.
That's true.
There's gonna be an upset though. I already know it. I think it's gonna be the whole like it's gonna be everything's gonna be white again. You know that's always disappointing, especially when there's a bunch of movies and film or there's a bunch of like performances and films that are good enough to be nominated and they just pushed aside.
True.
I don't know. We'll see.
And then I saw that South by dropped like their, their catalog
schedule.
Of movies. Yeah, their schedule.
Yeah. Well, it's fully not only what's gonna be there, but like I have my schedule already.
Okay.
Laid out.
I was gonna say, did you want to talk about that, or you wanna?
And well, another exciting thing because I thought you added that to the talking points because they have a online element to it this year.
Oh, do they? I didn't see that.
Oh,
I
you
only
didn't know
saw
that?
that it was like confirmed that it's gonna be in person, like as of now.
God, I hope so.
I mean, things could change, but as of now, like it's happening. Like they're moving along, and I just saw the schedule, and I was curious to see if you had like what yours is gonna look like.
Well, I've at least picked out. I think I have mostly everything picked out because I the way I did it was like I just went through and picked the movies that I need to see. You know, mostly the headliners, like Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. I have to see that one. The Lost City. Did you see the Channing Tatum one? Is like Channing Tatum, Sandra Bullock. That's gonna premiere there.
That's hilarious.
So that's also on my must see. There's a lot of midnight screeners that I think almost all of them I want to see because I just love, you know, that kind of like vibe.
Right.
Like the new X movie, the A24 with like yeah, so that's gonna be there too. Yeah, I don't know. What do you want to talk about specifically?
Well, just like, so those are those three movies you have on your schedule, like you're gonna see.
So how it works is, at least how I think it works now, is we get to like add to our schedule, like our agenda of what we want to do. But there's also on the day, there's an it's like an express pass where you can, I think you have to do it that morning, where you can request to basically guarantee a spot to the ones that are a little bit more harder to get into. So like the opening night movie or... Yeah. Because otherwise I have to go and wait and see if I get in. But I do get, like, the priority access is, like, the platinum badges, which are the most expensive ones.
Right.
And then I think film badges, and I don't have a wristband, because wristband is a little bit lower. I have a badge. So I think I'm, like, either, like, second or third in line of, like, who gets priority. So I'm not I don't know how worried I should be. I guess this is, like, the learning curve that I need to get into, but I feel like it feels like whatever movie I want to get into, I probably will get into because I have a badge. Yeah. And it's cool how they do the schedule because it's different than last year where like this is my agenda. And if you see that block, like the ones in white are what I want to see. And then it says above, it tells me how much time I have like free. And then when I click that, It says find sessions, and so I get to see what's happening during that time.
Oh,
So I can fill whatever time I have.
that's very cool.
But yeah. It's a weird process of like trying to figure out, especially I think it's good that I have a knowledge of like where everything is,
Right.
because there's some that are like the Alamo on the Draft House on Lamar, and then like after that is like an AFS theater, which is like 40 minutes away.
There's no way you could
So
make that. Yeah.
yeah, so it's nice to have a little bit more awareness of where I am. And so when I was looking at the schedule, and I think you can buy an online pass, so I would look into that if I were you, if you were interested. Because every morning at like either 9 or 10 a.m. they have online showings. I don't know what it's like for people that go online, but that's kind of nice that I don't think they have showings until like 11. So
Mm-hmm.
if I wanted to, I could wake up early and just watch a movie in my Airbnb.
Oh,
So
that's
that'd
very
be
nice.
cool. And I don't know. I'm excited. I'm a little nervous because I don't, like I said, I've never done this before. So I'm kind of like, I want to get the most of it. But I feel like even in like if I imagine the worst case scenario, I only am able to see one movie a day. But even then, I would still be happy. Like I'd still think it's worth it. I don't think it's gonna happen. But yeah, I'm very excited. I
What
think
you think you'll watch more, or you
oh,
think
like
you'll
a ton
watch?
more. But I'm just saying like
Uh,
my biggest fear is I don't know how to like if I do it wrong where I can't get into a screening or I don't time everything right, then like that's my I guess, worst case scenario that I just don't do it right. But no, every day I have like two, like three, four, five, like I haven't done full actually I don't have my full like schedule picked out yet, but I have most of it, and right now I have like 3 or 4 movies a day.
that's awesome. Even honestly, like this is headliner. Like we should just name this. The name of the episode should just be the Return of Movie Pass.
Yeah, I saw something like one small thing about this, but I don't know anything
Because I
other
think
than what you put in the talking points. An
they
email,
sent out
right?
an email where it's just like in quotes 2.0. I think.
I mean,
I
I still have my card, so I hope if I get to use it.
I think I still have mine. Like I think it's back in mom and dad's, but I'm worried that I don't know, threw it away or something. But that's a relic. I'm
Yeah, I'm
excited
never
because
getting
like
rid of it.
it's gotta happen. That would be so amazing.
The only thing I feel like I don't know, it at towards the end it got a little shady
Yeah.
where what's probably gonna happen is like one theater in San Antonio is gonna even let me use it, and it's gonna be one that's like 50 minutes away. So we'll see. I'm a little skeptical about what that would look like, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm just excited because like I was in high school when when it was happening, like when Movie
Yeah.
Pass was available, but I wasn't able to go to the movies as much. One because I
Mhm.
didn't have a car. I mean, I still don't now, but
You have access to one.
yeah, access. And like I care a lot more about movies now.
See, imagine how many times you can see Moonfall.
That would be insane. I wrote this joke in the talking points. It's every time I look at Letterboxd, like I lose a follower. Or if I look and see, it's just gone. Cuz I haven't checked in a while, or I hadn't checked in a while, and I was like, okay, 88. That's fine, whatever. Like honestly, I don't care at this point. But I looked,
You
just
do
like I was
care.
just curious. I was just curious, and then so I checked and it was 88, and then like later in the day I checked again, it was 87. So I was
It's
like, okay.
89 right now.
I know. The less I look, the more followers I get. So we're just
Maybe
gonna
they
go with that.
know. I got a couple followers
Yeah.
recently.
I don't know. It's just a weird thing. It feels like every time I look, it's just gone. But I've been slowly. I want to get into the movies that we watched, but I've been slowly losing steam, just because everything going on. But so I don't have a whole lot. I guess I have quite a
Actually,
bit.
surprisingly have a good amount.
I'm still ahead. I gotta
Yeah.
get a better lead because I'm at 85 and you're at 70. Or I'm gonna start with I Love You Man, which is on Netflix. It's the Paul Rudd, Jason Segel movie. It's like a surprisingly stacked cast. Like John Favreau's in it, Aziz Ansari's in it, like way more people, but it's solid. It's not like the best movie, but it's definitely unique. Like I hadn't seen anything like it. Like I like the premise. It's interesting. Some solid laughs, but nothing else to say. Then I saw Nosferatu, which took a couple. Like I had to split it up because it just feels so long because it's a silent film, and I'm just not like accustomed to watching, silent films. But I definitely see what it did for the genre and how it, like at the time, it must have been the scariest shit to see because it came out in 1922, and I mean, in today's standards, he's not that scary, but I'm sure back then Nosferatu was an absolute menace. So that was cool. Then I watched this documentary called GTFO, Get the F Out. It's a documentary about like sexual harassment and just in the gaming industry and just the weirdness of just the gaming culture. And like it wasn't the best documentary, like the way it was made, but it was obviously a really interesting and important topic. And I went to IMDb and I looked at the ratings and it was pretty low. I was like, okay. And then I looked by like demographics and it was like, yeah, this is exactly what this movie was about, because like it showed like men rating it like super low and then women rating it higher, because it did show like women in the industry, which is cool because there aren't a lot. It's not a really diverse industry, and to see one of the lead writers of, I think the game was like Dragon Inquisition, it was cool to see like that. So definitely an interesting watch. And that was on Canopy, and I've just kind of been slowly trying to watch everything on my watch list on Canopy. So I watched Funny Ha Ha, which is a mumblecore movie by Andrew Bujalski, I think, who is supposed to be like, he's known as the godfather of mumblecore, I guess. I didn't really like it. It just wasn't for me. Then I watched Nacho Libre because I needed
Classic.
that. Then I finished Paddington 2, and I got to say, everyone's right.
Yeah.
That's a solid movie. That's like a hits you straight at the feels. Like, I didn't cry, but I was like, damn, this is like way too emotional for me right now. Like the end. And in my review, I put that I will like now denote my life as, I think I'm calling it B-Whip 2 and A-Whip 2. So before I watched Paddington 2 and after I watched Paddington 2. So we're like 3 days A-Whip 2. I don't know how to.
That's how I'm doing it with Moonfall. Because everything changed, yeah.
Honestly, I have so many.
Yeah.
I need to add it to like, I have a list of like movies that changed my life, and honestly I think Moonfall fits underneath it.
Okay.
Then I watched Cars for the first time in years, which is crazy because as a child, and you can attest to this, I watched it so many times. And it was exactly what I needed to like revisit my childhood.
That soundtrack is triggering to me. Just kidding.
I know Shaboom, that song, when they're like, that played when I worked at Six Flags, and like, cause there was like a Motown, like 70s. It was bad. Then I watched a movie called Banana Split. It was on Netflix.
I've seen that one. Oh, and you gave like the
okay.
most depressing review I've ever seen.
Yeah, honestly, I'm just doing whatever. Normally I'd like filter.
And you're like, why do people keep unfollowing me? And then you're like, I've never had a friend.
I'm just throwing shit at the wall, see what sticks.
No, I liked it. That was funny.
Yeah.
But such a weird reaction. I've seen this movie and it's like fine. Like it's so funny to have such a visceral reaction from it. Like imagine watching Moonfall and you're like, this. I imagine this is what having friends is like. Okay.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Just apply that logic to anything, like Nightmare Alley. I imagine that's what Friends is like.
Banana Split hit hard though.
Okay. It was fine. I don't remember much from it.
No, I honestly don't either at this point. And it was like a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Then it was Moonfall, Nightmare Alley. Then yesterday, I watched The Social Network, and just got to revisit the classics. I think I was like, I don't know why, but I just like decided that I was gonna stay up super late, and so I watched it, and it just felt like the perfect time to rewatch it. So.
And you were like, "This is what I imagine having friends."
Yeah.
Social Network. You better lawyer up, asshole. My turn.
That's what I told the apartment, the management.
So I think I don't know if I talked about The Royal Treatment. So I'll start with that one. So that's a new movie on Netflix. It was really bad, but it was like fun, like a bad romantic comedy on Netflix. Yeah, nothing else to say really. I saw The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Oh really?
So people. I don't think I've ever seen this one before, and I always heard that people said it's really scary, but I think it's because it says it's like based on a true story, and I feel bad because I was kind of bored. I do like it felt like a classic horror film, so I like that it feels like it brought back like a lot of what the genre used to do. This movie came out in 2005, so like it's not that old, but it felt like a very classic kind of movie, and it was fine, and I wasn't really that scared from it. So I saw The King's Man in theaters because Sebastian and I just wanted to go see a movie. It too long, first of all.
Yeah.
My review said he really ate out that bullet wound scar, huh? Like that, I really hated that. I didn't like it at all.
That was hilarious.
At what cost did we? You know what I mean? Like, spoiler alert! But I really didn't think they would kill the son, so that actually made me like. I was like, oh shit. Weirdly emotional for that. It was fine though. I also think it's the end credits of having like Hitler be the cameo felt very strange. Didn't like that at all.
Yeah, it was like a MCU post-credit scene, but for like, I don't know. I just don't like
Harry Styles in Eternals, but Hitler. Like what? Truly, that's what it was. He was like walking out from the shadows, and I felt so stupid because I looked at Sebastian. And I was like, "Who is that?"
Oh my gosh!
Because I wasn't
even with like the mustache. Oh,
I wasn't listening to what he was saying, and also, so Sebastian, we were talking about this. Okay, I'm gonna. Oh God, I sound so fucking stupid, but I'm gonna do it. So, I was like, I think we were talking about like when this movie is set, and he was telling me, I forgot what happened, but he just like learned that I know I'm really dumb, and I know nothing about history, because he was like, I was like, what? I said, well, if this has like Germany, or if it has like Russia and Germany and whatnot, like, what world war is this? Isn't it like World War II? And I still don't remember honestly when this was set, and he just like realized that I didn't know anything about any of the world wars, and I was like, I said, and I was trying to like ask him what grade he learned this, but I asked him when he was telling me all this stuff. He was like, just like saying, like laying out what happened in both world wars while we were waiting for this movie. I said, where did you learn this?
You wizard.
But truly, I don't know. Maybe it's just that I wasn't like medicated in school, so a lot of the stuff I learned just left my brain. Because all the stuff he was saying, I was like, I've never fucking heard this before in my life.
Oh.
So that's why I was trying to ask him like when, but I just said, where did you learn this?
That's funny. No,
truly,
yeah, Kayla.
I have no fucking clue about what happened in any of the. And honestly, if that makes me sound stupid, that's fine. But truly, I was like, when did Pearl Harbor happen?
Oh my god. Oh, Kayla was like, she really enjoyed it, and a big part of it was because like she's she's a history person. She's a genius, and like so she was like, whenever they killed the Prince Ferdinand or whatever,
I don't even know who
I
that
don't
is.
know. She was like, yeah, she did that like Leo meme where she was like, I know this.
Oh, no clue. But Sebastian, he said that there's some guy that makes videos about history that he wants me to watch.
Oh,
Because I truly, like when we play Trivial Pursuit, it takes me so long to win because of geography and history.
oh yeah,
Geography, I have
that's the
no
worst.
fucking idea where anything is. And then we were talking about the solar system or something,
Oh my god.
and I was like, I never learned and I don't remember if I don't ever, maybe because we moved around, but I don't even think that's the issue. But I truly don't remember ever learning what order the planets are in. I have no
Uh,
idea.
so what's the third one from
From
the sun?
what?
From the sun.
Mars? I have no fucking clue. I don't know. No, it's Earth, isn't it?
It's Earth. Yeah.
There was one time there was a trivia question where it was talking about the stratosphere, like what level of the stratosphere, and I forgot whatever it was, and I said the crust, and Sebastian was like, stratosphere is not the Earth. Ozone was the answer. It said layers of stratosphere, and I don't know. Yeah.
What layer of the air? The crust. That's funny.
Okay. I watched a movie called Shithouse. And I think first of all, I loved it. I was supposed to watch it at South by whenever I was supposed to go. And apparently the guy that made this movie, he was in it, and he directed and wrote a movie that was in Sundance called Cha Cha Real Smooth.
Yeah, it's also fucking fantastic.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He looks young too.
Yeah, he's not old.
Because he played a college student in this one.
I think he's like maybe 25. Cooper Rafe, right?
Fuck him. Okay, so he and it felt very, because I think it was set in Texas, this movie, and it was like him being in college for the first time, and then he, like, his relationship with a girl that's his RA. So all these like things of like, going to college for the first time, I understood, like I related to him a lot, and then being an RA, like all these things just felt like a little too close to home, but I really loved it. And that's on Showtime, I think. So if you want to watch it.
Oh, okay.
And then I watched Una, with Rooney Mara and I forgot this guy's name, but I don't know how I felt about that one. It was kind of strange because it was like about how this guy, this older man, had like a relationship with her when she was like, I think she was like 14 or 13 or something. And then she goes back, like he obviously was caught and he had to go to jail, like all this stuff. And then she visits him at his job where he like changed his name, and I don't know. It just felt very strange. Like the way that they would talk about like how that's why I said relationship, even though it's obviously like predatory because he was like in his 40s, old enough to know better. And she was like 14, 13. I don't know. It just felt it was well acted. And I think maybe that was the point, to make me feel uncomfortable, because I was uncomfortable the whole time, just how they talked about it. But I think it was interesting.
What was it on?
I think that one's on Peacock. That's why I said Peacock has a lot of indies. Like I think this is an indie, or at least like not well known. I would, if I were you, I'd go through their app one day because they have a lot of good stuff. And then a movie on Netflix called Ghostland. Didn't really like it. I don't know. It felt, there was like a twist that I just felt like wasn't earned, and maybe I'll watch it again one day, see if I like it, but wasn't that interested. There's a movie I watched again called Sweet Virginia. I really like that movie. It's kind of like, I guess, I don't know if it's a mumblecore one, but it's kind of slow, and it's like a crime thriller, but really quiet is how I describe it. Really good though. Has Christopher Abbott, and John Bernthal, I think you'd say his name.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty good. I think you'd like it. I would highly recommend. It's pretty good. Okay, and then I watched a movie that just ruined me called Love, Antosha. So it's about Anton Yelchin. And I didn't know a lot about him, obviously. Like, I've seen a good chunk of his movies, but it's just mostly about who he was as a person. And this man, like, he just never stopped working, because I think when he passed away, he was 27. At the end, it said he did like 70 projects by that time.
Wow.
Yeah. And at the end, Sebastian didn't watch the full thing with me. He watched most of it, and then he watched the end with me. Both of us were just sobbing. I don't know what it was, but we just could not stop crying.
Wow, I need to watch that.
That's on Peacock as well. Very good. Loved it. Yeah, very sad. Nightmare Alley, of course, and then The Beta Test is on Hulu now. I also, that's another movie I don't know how I feel about. I liked it, I think, but it's just so out there. I don't know if you've seen Jim Cummings, like his movies.
No.
But yeah, I don't know. I really like him. I think he's a very interesting filmmaker. Yeah, I need to watch this one again because it's very strange. It's got a lot of like meaning to it that I feel like I just didn't catch. Yeah. And then other than Moonfall, I also watched Feels Good Man, which is my penance. And I liked it. I didn't like it as much as I thought I would, but I still gave it 4 stars. Because I liked it a lot. I like the way that they told the story. I really love the animation. And I feel really bad for the guy. Like, I can't imagine what it's like to have something like that happen to you. I think I would never choose to watch a documentary about a comic or like an artist or something like this on my own. So I liked it. Yeah.
Nice.
That's all I watched.
All right. I have my person written down. Do you have yours?
I don't have mine. Okay. I have mine.
Jack Black.
Oh my God. I wrote down Jack Black.
You did?
Else. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, let me pick somebody else.
Well, no, I have to pick someone else too because you already know Jack Black. You could cheat. Not saying you are going to, but I don't think we've ever done that before.
I knew it too. When I wrote it down, I was like, you probably put Jack Black.
I have mine.
Same. If we pick the same person.
Owen Wilson.
Okay, Bradley Cooper.
I almost picked him like to start. But okay, 5 minutes on the clock. I don't have anything. Thought I did, but I don't.
Okay. I think this has to have a fact check, but I think Bradley Cooper and Owen Wilson are in Wedding Crashers together.
Okay, let's check.
That's a big F.
Wedding Crashers. I don't know why I just can't think of anything. Okay, Owen Wilson is obviously in it. Let's see. Bradley Cooper is Zachary Sack Lodge. Nice.
Why didn't you do the MCU route?
I just felt like felt too easy. I was trying to go because like Bradley Cooper is in The Rocker with Rainn Wilson and Josh Gad.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
I don't know. It doesn't matter though.
You're right. It doesn't matter.
What am I watching?
Watch Sweet Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah. No, actually, no. Scratch that. Watch The Humans on Showtime.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Okay, well, let's hit the break. When we get back, Moonfall and then Nightmare Alley.
A mysterious force knocks the moon from its orbit around Earth and sends it hurtling on a collision course with life as we know it in Moonfall. Directed by Roland Emmerich, written by Roland Emmerich, Harold Closer, and Spencer Cohen, starring Halle Berry, Patrick Wilson, and John Bradley.
Critics gave it a 5.3 out of 10 on IMDb, a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes,
Oof.
And on Letterboxd it has an average of a 2.3. And I don't know if this is just this does speak to the platform itself, but when you just look it up, it shows Metacritic's review, but it shows Facebook's and it has a 4.5 out of 5.
Oh no.
Which I think
Alrighty.
they took our tweet too serious. So I saw it first, and originally you weren't gonna have time,
Yeah.
but then I got a eviction notice. Um, but I texted you saying like it's so bad, it's genius. I think.
Yeah.
Um,
And I'm glad. I think it would have been funny if I didn't watch it still, because the plan was to have you explain it to me.
yeah.
Because I think that would have been. I think I would have thought you were fucking with me, like how it ends, because I would have never in a million years would I have guessed that. But then, so like spoiler alert, the moon isn't real. It's like man-made. And have you seen the poster to this movie? Because when Smash and I were walking out, because I truly had no idea that's where they were going with this. I thought it was truly just the moon was going to hit Earth. And the poster shows that there's like a hole in the moon, and it looks like it's man-made.
Really?
So it was right in front of our fucking eyes. Yeah.
We're just too dumb to see it.
Yeah, truly.
Well,
so this is a masterpiece, is what I'm trying to say. I took
honestly.
notes from the movie or the theater I went to. I took notes.
Oh, I see the poster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the one. I haven't seen that poster.
Me neither until we walked out. Like all these notes front to back. Okay.
Yeah.
First things first.
Yeah, go for
on.
it.
What would Elon do? Is a line that is said in this movie. Did he like fund this movie or something, and I'm not aware of it? Because they had so many Elon shit.
It was funded by tech billionaires, I think, because there was like a Facebook portal, like just like in Michael Pena's house, and there was like this really weird shot where they just showed the portal and like for no purpose.
Yep.
And then like the whole Elon, because he was mentioned by John Bradley's character like multiple times.
Yeah. And
like,
SpaceX was like highly.
Oh, funded by SpaceX.
Yeah.
So I think they want to look good in the public's eyes, but from Moonfall, like I don't get.
Yeah, what a wild way to do it. Okay. Second one is that I laughed out loud when they gave him a notice to vacate. I could not stop laughing.
Yeah.
Because of your situation.
Yeah, that hit. I hadn't received it yet at the time that I saw this movie, but it was
omen.
Like it was an omen. Oh,
do you have notes? Sorry, I'm like.
I do have notes. I hate this type of movie where it's, it's the genre of like the world is ending, but our family drama matters just as much.
Yeah.
Okay, the first like half of this movie, before they get into space the first time and die immediately, like that was amazing. It felt like a season finale to a show that I just hadn't seen yet, because like it was like all the NASA people talking, like I don't like it just felt. I was like, what did I miss? I don't know what's happening, like because of the family drama.
Yeah.
He's like going to jail. I was like, what is happening?
Who cares? That courtroom scene.
Oh,
so fucking bad. That kid didn't say a goddamn word. And so that's the first instance of this having like the worst dialogue I think I've ever seen, because the way that he just like talked, the way that the lawyer talked, and money is no object. Who the fuck says that? Especially not a fucking lawyer.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just that was the first thing. Love the Google sponsorship is what I said, because they were like, "Hey Google," like like out of nowhere. And I told Sebastian, I think I put in my review that it just feels like the sponsorship just felt even more sinister for a movie that is showing the world ending, and it just felt like a commercial. Like it felt like, "Hey Google, cancel my plans tomorrow." Like it felt just so stupid.
Looking back, do you think it's like do you think they wanted it to be like we're like kind of heading towards AI helping us? Because like when they show like the flashback to the little AI in that little cloud like pyramid thing.
Guess so. But like Google's gonna kill us? Come on.
Who knows?
Come on. My fucking Google, what is it called? Google Home is gonna kill me. She can't even connect to the fucking internet. Every time I try to use her, she's like, open your app. And I'm like, girl, I've already tried. I've unplugged you and plugged you back in. She's not going to fucking kill me. She can't even tell me what time of day it is.
We're getting there, though. That's the point.
Doubt it. I'm at this point, like she's so fucking useless to me. If she did try to kill me, I'd be impressed. And I'd be like, you know what? You were worth the money. You were worth the $30 I spent for you trying to murder me. And I said that they played the perfect guy, or they cast the perfect guy to play an insane person, because that diner scene where he's like looking at Patrick Wilson with his eyes open like this, like he just looked insane. And
yeah,
to have that conversation with him and to decide to sleep in the same hotel room as him he's Patrick Wilson is a braver man than I could ever be.
The world's ending, so I guess it doesn't matter.
Guess so. And then when they showed the like alien thing, sorry if I'm skipping ahead and if you have any more notes.
No.
So I wrote, not sure what I thought this movie was about, but Dust Aliens was not it. Like the way that it was moving, I just didn't like.
Yeah.
I also, and that got kind of cheesy. Like I kind of, weirdly, I wished that it was just the moon. Like I didn't want this extra shit of like an alien going into the center of the moon, or I don't know. I just didn't really care for that. And then I quoted a line where I think it was the guy from Hunger Games, the like President Snow, where he said, "One step from man, one yada yada yada." I think that's one of the best line reads I've ever heard in my life, because the way it was just the commitment. And I can't imagine, like, how much did they pay this man? How much did Elon pay this man to be in this movie? Because everybody in this movie is like way better than this, you know? Maybe not Patrick Wilson, Patrick Wilson's better than that.
I had just seen that guy in Pride and Prejudice, so that was funny.
Yeah, exactly. How far we've fallen.
How the mighty
days.
have fallen.
Exactly. And then I said, why is everybody going to Colorado? Did they even explain that? They were just like, all like going to Colorado.
I know. It's like something.
Is there something I don't know about Colorado?
I guess just because it's high, and I don't know. It's the place to be.
As somebody who's really, I've already said I'm dumb and I'm bad at geography. The directions, or just like the navigation, or just the setting in this world, just, I mean, it's our world, so I don't know why I'm saying it like it's not, but like it's, but like, you know what I mean? In the world of this movie just made no sense to me. Like, just the way that they like dropped into Colorado and he's like, I know where to go. And I'm like, how? There's mountains everywhere. You're in the middle of nowhere. How the fuck do you know where to go? Am I crazy? Or like, how know where to go? And then,
yeah. Especially like at the end when they just so happen to like end up where everyone else is but it's like, I think this movie is also sponsored by Colorado, because everyone was like, it's a safe space.
Because like, that's another thing. If you dropped me even a mile from where I live now and you were like, find your way home, I couldn't fucking do it. So drop me in a place that I've been to maybe once in my life and be like, oh, find Aspen. What? I don't know. So the next thing is that Halle Berry's baby daddy in the movie, God bless him. One of the worst actors I've ever seen on a movie, because he looked like he had to sneeze the entire time. There was this one scene where he's talking to his son on the phone, and the son was like, I don't know if you remember this, but the son said like, "Hey dad, how are you doing?" Like he was just like, you know, just normal. And he was like, "Do you miss me? Do you remember?" Just out of nowhere, "Do you miss me?"
And then he finds out that his kid's like not gonna make it, and it seems like he doesn't care. He's like, "All right, well, I'll see you soon." Like
and then Halle Berry, it's like when she goes into space, she's like, "What, son? I don't care. I don't give a shit." Like the fact that, and also for all these, like, I was just so confused about all of them, you know, going off in like helicopters and planes, and she's like, "Here's a Hummer, take my kid." And then there's like a gravity wave, which I don't even want to fucking get into.
Yeah, bro.
But
it looks
how
so
did they not
visually.
Die?
My biggest gripe with this movie is that it doesn't look cool. Yeah. Like it's just.
There was one shot that I thought was kind of interesting when like the moon is kind of, but it still was kind of not that. Oh,
in the Colorado.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool.
Rockies. The entire thing, like, the story is out there. Why not make the visuals just like insane. It just felt like bland, like the colors, like it just felt. Eh, if you're gonna go there, to just go there all the way.
Yep, fully commit.
I just don't get why. But there was like so much confusion with Halle Berry's character.
Yeah.
First of all, why is Halle Berry in this as she doesn't? Why do you? But like, who is that like foreign exchange student? I thought she was like her partner or something.
I thought that was her wife, and I was like, right on. And then truly, like, who was that?
Will they let me into this bunker? I'm a foreign exchange student.
Oh God, what the hell? This movie is fucking strange. Okay, next one is that I'm calling the moon a megastructure from now on. Also, I just wrote randomly, this is Elon propaganda. That's probably when they were like, just kept saying how Elon's like a genius or whatever, when he's not. Isn't he just like rich? He's not smart, right?
I guess, but not smart enough to make the moon a megastructure.
Yeah, where is he this whole time? You know, like, go and fix the moon yourself, you fucking moron. Okay, so Sebastian. Oh, so this is I quoted Sebastian what he said to me when they were. So this is at the part where Patrick Wilson is like about to go, you know, try to fix the moon or whatever, and he's saying goodbye to his son, and it's like they're trying to make it like a really emotional part. And Sebastian leaned over and he said, "Nobody cares about that kid." Truly, they kept trying to make us care about this kid that like was on a high speed chase and somehow didn't get shot. And they're trying to make us give a shit about him when like truly nobody cares. Like, just go, leave.
And then he loses the car immediately.
There was like people are like, "Give me the car." Barely takes out their gun and he's like, "All right." Kind of a cool move that he kicked the gun under the car, though. I kind of liked that.
I guess, but like that happened so quick. Like there was no like theatrical to like element. It was just like, yeah, the car is gone now.
Honestly, I mean, they came back in the end, so I was like, okay, but that would have been so much funnier if they didn't. If they just like took the car. I also was crying laughing at. You remember the two guys that helped them launch? And when they were going to the helicopter, but the I guess it was a gravity wave. So the way that they were hopping and skipping to the fucking helicopter, I could not stop fucking laughing. That was the funniest image I've ever seen in a movie.
If we had the budget and the time, that would be the intro to this episode. It'd be us jumping like that to our desk.
Another great line from this movie is when Patrick Wilson just said, "I can't see shit." Do you remember that? I can't see shit.
Man, there's another good line because there's like another chase scene, like a car chase scene, and because Michael Pena is a Lexus dealer, so
yes, I think I wrote that down too.
That's another sponsor, but he says, "Let me put this baby in warp speed," and he's like,
put it in sport mode. Genuinely, that made me laugh. I laughed a lot.
I did too.
Usually with movies like this, when they make me laugh, I look at Sebastian or I lean over to him and say, "Fuck, like, damn it," like because I don't want to enjoy this movie because it's so bad. But when and I think there was like 2 or 3 times that I actually laughed and I was like, "Fuck, that was funny." That was one of them. I could not stop laughing.
That was like a ridiculous moment.
Very ridiculous. But so when they get into the moon, we obviously learn that it's fake. It is a mega structure. And did it not, whatever was inside the moon, did it not look like the Game of Thrones opening credit scene?
Kinda.
That's what I said. I was like, especially that guy.
It reminded me of the like Avengers Infinity War scene where like Thor makes the other axe or whatever.
I think they just borrowed that set probably.
Yeah. Probably.
And then when Patrick Wilson like went into that like whatever space that was, all I wrote down was "Arrival head ass." They really wanted this to be that movie, but you cannot ever touch that fucking movie.
It reminded me of like that Squidward scene.
Yeah.
Where he's just in the void.
I would have liked if they just inserted that. That would have been fun. And then when they were showing like truly, at this point I was like, what the fuck is this happening in this movie? Or I think whenever they landed in that little spacecraft thing, That's when I looked over Sebastian. I said, "This is gonna be so fucking stupid, and I can't wait to see what happens."
Yeah, it was getting into some like, because it was weird because there was a freeze happening when I went to go see this, like just some like in the theater experiences. I went with Kayla and one of our friends, and it's crazy that we were talking about this, but we were talking about like religion and God and like what that like shit like that, and I was like, it'd be so sad if like we're the only thing in the universe, if like humans are the only thing in the universe, and then to watch this movie that like hours after we had that conversation, it was insane because we find out that humans became so advanced that they made AI in like, I don't know, billions of years ago, and then the AI killed them all, and then they built moons and sent them out, and our moon is the only one that made the like survived the AI, and then one of the AIs like found the moon, and that's what's fucking everything up.
Yeah. And weirdly, I don't remember learning this in school.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, but yeah. And when they showed the like their ancestors or whatever, I wrote down, is this fucking Halo? Like, I thought this was gonna turn into like weird, because when they landed in that little area, it did kind of look like, it reminded me of Halo a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? I wouldn't hate this movie if it turned into weirdly Halo, but it didn't. It's not that smart. What else? Oh, I said during the part where they were telling the story where about the ancestors, and they specifically said that the ancestors left behind their DNA. I think they said that they seeded their DNA on Earth. Sebastian and I both looked at each other, and I said they jizzed everywhere, and Sebastian said they skeeted everywhere.
Basically, that's hilarious. I think that was probably a line that was cut from the writer's room. Like, someone's definitely said that. And they were like, that's a little bit too far. Elon's like, put it in. Leave it in.
It's like, this is the genius. This is my contribution. I just want you to have this line in here where they jizzed all over the earth. And they're like, are you sure?
Let's make it a little bit more classy. They seeded the earth.
Seeded the earth. Okay. So I have a couple notes in my mind, but the last one I wrote down was, why couldn't they kill him off? So the whole thing at the end, and I kind of liked it. Like, I like that what's his face? I forgot his name, but Game of Thrones guy, that he sacrificed himself. I liked that. I thought that was an interesting moment. But then they kind of ruined it by at the end not really killing him off. They were like,
his conscious.
Yeah, they're like, we uploaded your or whatever the fuck they said, like something fucking stupid, probably trying to give some sort of weight to that Neuralink shit that Elon's trying to con his way into. But I feel like it would have been more impactful if they actually did kill him off. And that whole like white space thing, it just looks so cheesy.
Yeah, it was like a little like that digital scratchiness, like glitch. So like his whole thing was like he was super anxious, and he made a point to say that he had IBS.
Oh, that made me laugh a lot.
I thought for sure that he was gonna like shit himself on. Like, I'm so surprised. Like, why even have that if you're not gonna have a scene where he shits himself in his spacesuit?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't know you could just have that as a headcanon. Is that what people call it? He shit himself. Yeah, I don't know, but that was another moment that made me genuinely laugh, and I was upset about it. But this is very funny. I have IBS. What made me even more upset that he was still alive was that they had this whole thing that Alex Pena was like, he like sacrificed himself, and then I looked at Sebastian. I was like, oh, he's probably not dead, but he fully died.
It was so funny because like he died because he suffocated because there was no air in the oxygen there was no oxygen in the air for some reason, and then like 2 seconds later it comes back.
And I was like, and that's what made me mad too about the whole like they kept the British guy, like they even found some sort of way to have him be alive, but then they were like, no, Alex Pena's like fully dead. I truly was expecting him to just be like after he was like, and Tom, And they're like, no. I thought he was gonna walk behind, but then they just kept moving on, and they didn't even seem that sad about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That would just.
He's
I
just
didn't like
there's
that.
so many Lexus dealers. Yeah, he'll be replaced. His conscious is uploaded into that Lexus, the hyper speed one.
Oh, okay, good. They probably did that so she could get back with him in the next one or something.
Yeah. Wow.
Truly a stupid movie. But you know what? I will say that when they were telling the story about that ancestor thing, you know, like what happened, I did tell Sebastian that I think that idea is interesting, and it could have been something interesting. Like if you turn it into like a young adult dystopian novel thing, I think that would have been. Or if you maybe start with that and not start with this movie. I don't know. I feel like that the concept that they were explaining, I was like, oh, okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
It, you know.
There at that point in the movie, I was like, that's where I was thinking, like, is this genius? Like, is it so bad?
So I was thinking too, yeah.
It's like, because that is some really interesting sci-fi, like, ideas.
Like, imagine that first scene of them, you know, we start off the movie living in whatever Halo shit that was. And then all this stuff happens where we're like, our AI is attacking us. And then at the end, the like twist is that they created Earth that we live on. You know what I mean? Like, what if that was the... I just feel like that would have been a cool way to do that. Like, I think they just started this movie in the wrong... They started the story in the wrong, like, area.
Maybe they'll make it. I
think let's not. I mean, this is fine enough, you know. But I guarantee they're gonna make a second one. So, well, maybe I won't guarantee it, but I feel like they will.
It's just so funny looking at their social media too, like Moonfall.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, what if I was like, it's me, I'm the moon that fell.
Whatever Patrick Wilson needs to fund his Insidious Chapter 5.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poor guy.
That's the end of that, I think.
You know what? Fun. I think I put in my review 1 out of 5 movie, 5 out of 5 experience. I had a great time. I thought it was very fun to watch. Yeah. I wish I would have watched it how I watched Cats. When I went to I think it's called like a rowdy screening where you could just talk through it.
Oh.
I feel like that would have been fun.
True.
Right. Now on to something better. You ready? An ambitious carny with a talent for manipulating people with a few well-chosen words hooks up with a female psychiatrist who is even more dangerous than he is in Nightmare Alley. Directed by Guillermo del Toro, written by Guillermo del Toro and Kim Morgan, based on the novel by Lindsay Gresham, starring Bradley Cooper, Cate Blanchett, and Toni Collette.
Critics gave it an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 7.3 on IMDb, and on Letterboxd it has an average of a 3.6 stars. There's like so many good people in this, and everyone is fantastic. It's a fantastic noir, that's how you pronounce it, I don't know, film, and honestly it's a like genre that I'm not too familiar with. So after watching this, I just feel like you have to commit a lot of like brain power to it, because like it is a very complex story, or not entirely complex, but there is a lot of like symbolism and metaphors within, you know, the imagery, and you know, it's like a full circle, I think.
Yeah, it made me want to read my tarot cards, or like learn how to read them. But yeah, I think you liked it a lot more than I did at the end. I liked it, but I probably won't watch it again. It's definitely not my favorite Guillermo del Toro movie.
I haven't seen a lot of his, but I did like it a lot.
I haven't seen a ton either, but yeah. I have a few notes, but like the first one being that I didn't realize, or I had realized like halfway through that Rooney Mara and Cate Blanchett were in Carol together. Yeah. There's a lot of reunions. There was also oh, the old man, I forgot his name, and then the one of the wives, Mary Steenburgen or something. The parents and stepbrothers were both in this movie too.
Yeah, Richard Jenkins.
Richard Jenkins, yes. Another thing, like these are all small notes that I put, but I didn't like the voice that Bradley Cooper was using. I feel like the accent wasn't consistent, and I mean I think that was on purpose. Maybe like when he got to the big times, he like dropped it a little bit. But I didn't like it.
I didn't mind it. I liked his performance overall, especially like that last scene. Mm-hmm. Like that really solidified it for me because like throughout I was like, okay, like I feel like anyone, like a lot of people could have played the role.
Yeah, I still kind of feel that way.
But the end, I really liked, like where he's like just like cackling and all that. But it's just it's a beautiful movie. Like in my review, I just put that I want to talk to Mr. Guillermo because like to get into his brain because like this is like you said, it's based on a book, but it's also been adapted already in a like 1947 movie. And there's like some subtle differences in like the wording that he chose, specifically at the end.
Yeah.
Where he says like I was born for this, or I think in the 47 movie he says like I was made for this or something. Mm-hmm. Talking about how it's like more inherited, like you're inherently, you know, this person or you know, more of like destiny. But
I think he's like you're trying to he was trying to fight becoming that person the whole time, but then it like I mean you can't fight destiny, I guess.
Yeah. But just to like get into like, and because it's like such a visually stunning movie to me because it, you know, it like really puts you in that era of like early 40s, at least for me, or like just 40s in general. Because I was like, I don't know, it just felt very grim, all of it, especially like all the carnival scenes, and like when he goes back to it, at the end, it just felt like it felt perfect.
I don't know. I it's not my kind of movie. Like I don't know if I like noir. Like I haven't seen a lot of it, but it I knew it was good. I just think it's one of those cases where it's just not for me. But I did really like the ending because, how I explained it is that it made me feel the same way that I feel when I watch like a Twilight Zone, or when I listen or read a really good scary story and I have this weird like pit in my stomach. That's how I felt at the end of this movie, with like the cackling and just how it came full circle to him being the geek, like him turning into just that one. And I kind of knew, I don't know, it was kind of predictable. Like as soon as Willem Dafoe gave that speech of how he turns, like how he gets them, I was like, oh, they're gonna use this on him at the end. Or at first I was like, one of two things: he's either gonna do that to somebody, or he's going to be the geek. And then towards the end, I was like, oh, it's probably him. And so I knew how it was going to end, but I still really liked watching it. Like it didn't ruin my experience, but I don't know how I feel about the whole, I think the reason I didn't really care for this movie as much is because of that last plan that they had of like her pretending to be a ghost, basically. When like that, how is that ever going to work? Of course he's going to try to touch her.
Yeah, I mean, I think it at the end, you know, Stan, Bradley Cooper's character, he just was too confident in himself.
Yeah, and I think he was also like, too deep.
Oh yeah, way too deep. Like, and like the dude had so many resources that he could have used at his disposal to like take him down. That he was in too deep. But I really like I really want to see it in theaters because I think there's a showing where it's like in black and white. So I really want to check that out because I think that would like even further solidify that like noir feel. And it like I said, I haven't looked a lot into or seen a lot of the genre, and I really want to now because I like that like somber feeling that I felt like after, where it's just like, I don't know. It's hard to describe, and I want to like investigate that more. So if anyone can do that, I appreciate that. And I'm really glad that it was this director because I really like him.
Yeah, me too. I think the last movie of his that I saw, because Shape of Water doesn't really make you feel that way. But Pan's Labyrinth, if you haven't seen that one,
I haven't,
I think you'd
but
really like it because it kind
I
of has that same. It's a lot creepier too, but it's one of my favorites in general. But it's, I think, I haven't seen a lot of his movies, but it's my favorite of his that I've
yeah.
seen. But yeah, I don't know. The acting, like you said, the cast is really stacked. The acting was good. It's just not for me.
I really liked, the whole idea of, like mentalism and just like the act that they had, how they had just
Yeah.
like the subtle nuances of like finger movements, even to tell like like the different codes that they had
Yeah.
was very interesting. And there's like so much imagery. I mean, we could go on and on, like the whole fetus with the eye that like
Yeah,
killed
what
the
was that all
mom.
about?
I don't know, because like there was a couple of scenes where Stan's just like looking at it and like you can tell like it's affecting him in some way.
Did he kill
But
his mom, you think? Not like do you think that's how his mom died? Because they only ever show his dad.
I think his mom like abandoned them. I don't think his mom died. I think his mom abandoned him because his dad was a drunk, and like that's why he resented his dad, is because like she left because of that. I don't know if maybe I could be wrong.
Maybe
But
that's the symbolism of like what he thinks of himself. Like he blames himself, and so like
no,
because that baby
yeah.
killed the mom, he thinks that he caused her to leave.
Yeah, and yeah, I watched a video, so like this isn't me pointing this out on my own, but because that fetus had like an eye on its like forehead, and he had that like blindfold with an eye over it when he did his act. So I guess it did struck a chord with him. But yeah, I'd let Kate Blanchett con me into anything as long as I get to speak with her and have any.
Oh my god, I love her. I love her so much. And the thing that I was reading reviews and I know I forgot who it was, but they put that they didn't understand her motive, and I also didn't understand her motive. Like maybe that's I don't know. Because I was like that. Why did she even help him? What was the whole thing of her going there in the first place? Like, I mean, was it payback because of that big scar she had? Did he do something? But like, I didn't really understand what her deal was.
I could see it being multiple things. I don't know either, and that's something that I honestly don't know.
Me.
But it could be, because she did, like, ultimately she was hired to see whether or not he was like the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she knew he wasn't, and then he kind of like kept her on her toes because he knew that she had a pistol in her handbag. I think maybe that's the reason why she was like, okay, let me use this to my advantage, because like he's like a little bit more, not powerful, but like more like intelligent than I had anticipated.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
But what's
I don't
the
know
point,
why she would.
though? Yeah, like
Money?
why? Yeah, but she looks like she does well for herself.
That's true.
So I just did that confused me. I kind of wish it would have just stayed at the carnival thing. I wish she would have just taken over Tony Collette. Like I just didn't really understand that part of like including her character at all.
I feel like she was just more intrigued with him, and then I don't know. I don't know why she would turn.
Yeah.
Or maybe it wasn't a turn. She was out to get him the entire time.
Maybe, but like, what is the advantage of that? I don't know. I just felt strange.
That's true.
And one of the notes I put was like, I really hate psychics. Like, the whole like, even though I want to get into like tarot card reading, but I really hate the whole like idea of people preying on other people like this. But
yeah,
every time I think about it or I watch, them in action, I'm like reminded how similar what they do is to like kind of what my job is, where they have to, they like, read into these really minute things that people do, and they build a whole story, and there's a whole motive of like probably trying to get money from them. And sometimes that's what it feels like to write like social media posts or ads, mostly ads, because you're thinking like what psychologically when I think of the person I'm trying to sell to, what mind state are they in right now, and like how can I use that to my advantage.
You're like, what do I know about this mark?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And it's kind of scary. I mean, at the end of the day though, the person gets, I mean, maybe that's how I rationalize it, but they get to choose whether they click on the ad or not. But like in this case, it's kind of, if you're using their dead son to get money out of them, it's hard for them to say no,
Yeah. And I gotta say, like, I know this, I don't know, like, I felt like mature watching this because it's not like the most exciting like throughout. Like, it is a 2.5 hour movie. Honestly, it didn't feel like that. And like when I was watching it,
yeah,
huh?
It felt like it to me.
Oh, really?
It's very long, yeah.
When we got to like the end, where like I don't know, everything happens. Like the Mary Steenburgen, I don't remember the character's name. Miss Kimball. When she shoots her husband, I was brushing my teeth, and I was like, oh shit! Like I said that out loud, and Kay was like, is everything okay? And I was like, I'm fine. But I was like, I was like, oh damn, they went there. It was crazy.
I figured that she was gonna do that.
And then when just like the whole escape, like finding out that the ghost was fake and all that, and he runs over Mindhunter guy. Yeah, I was like, damn, this is crazy.
It was wild, the way he ran him over. Oh, when he like, he just took his fucking nose. That was weird.
Yeah.
Like, well, he like beat him enough of his nose just like caved in. Yeah, wild visuals. I have some fun facts. Do you want to hear?
Yeah. I don't really have much else to say. I like this movie a lot.
All right. So they kept using the word geek, and so I found the like, I guess, origin of it. So originally from the German word Geck, meaning fool or simpleton, and a term used around circuses and carnivals to describe a wild man or woman. A typical geek show in the mid-19th century would have had a person on stage biting the head off of an animal and drinking its blood. Often dragged out, the act of biting the head was the pinnacle of the performance, leaving the audience with a scene of bloodshed and death. All right. So about filming, Rooney Mara was pregnant when filming began and gave birth to her child when production was suspended during the COVID-19 pandemic. She remarked that the timing and production schedule was advantageous since her early scenes in the movie, she was appearing like scantily clad in her carnival costume, were filmed after the break. Oh. So like, yeah, so I guess it was easier to hide her pregnancy before, and then after it was like, yeah. Leonardo DiCaprio was originally picked for the lead role, as DiCaprio chose this over other projects from Paul Thomas Anderson and Alejandro Iñárritu. But when negotiations fell through due to not reaching a financial agreement, DiCaprio opted out and was shortly replaced by Bradley Cooper. So he wanted to do this movie because he passed on 2 other movies from really good directors, but then they couldn't come to an agreement. And honestly, I think I would have liked this movie a little bit better if Leonardo DiCaprio was in it.
I don't know.
I think he would have been a little bit better, but I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. I think Bradley Cooper was fine. Like, I don't think he was bad in it, but I don't know. All right. Oh, this is a wild one. I didn't read it fully because I wanted to like save it. Okay. So during a January 2022 interview with Terry Gross on the NPR program Fresh Air, Guillermo del Toro said, One of the reasons he had long been interested in the subject of grifters and fake psychics who preyed on vulnerable and grieving people, like the ones depicted in this movie, was that in 1998, when his father was kidnapped in Mexico and held for ransom, his family was immediately preyed upon by con artists claiming to be psychics. Del Toro recounted, quote, "One of the first warnings that came from the hostage negotiator, he said, 'Beware of the psychics. They're going to show up really early, and no sooner had I hung up the phone than I went to see my mother. There were 2 psychics sitting in the living room telling her they knew and they could lead us to where my father was because they could sense him. And this made an indelible impression. And that cruelty, which I saw firsthand, also is part of the spirit in this movie.' When Gross asked Del Toro what the so-called psychics told his mother, he replied, 'They were there very shortly because I kicked them out.' But what they were saying is that they could sense my father, that he was trying to communicate with her, and the speech was almost identical to what Stan says in the movie. The first thing they hooked on was, 'He loves you very, very much. He's trying to reach you, and he knows that you can save him.' They used the same hooks. That was evident to me, but my mother for a moment was harboring hope."
Wow. That's
Anything
insane.
about that. That's fucking sick. That's disgusting.
Wow. I mean, okay, yeah, that is gross, but it is interesting, like, the way that they, like, do that. And just, like, manipulate. And just, like, the like, to me, the most interesting part was, like, the little schemes that they used. Like I said, the little finger movements and, like, the words, code, speech.
Yeah.
But, wow.
Or, like, yeah. Or just that is a lot of them what they say. Especially the one, if you look at the ones on TV, or there's some, I don't think they happen that much now. Well, actually, so back in the day, this would happen a lot with missing kids, where psychics would say that they, like, knew where they were, that they were dead or whatever. And I don't know if you remember what happened with, like, the Gabby Petito thing. The girl that, like, she was I think she was an influencer, or she, like,
okay, yeah.
She was she lived in a van with her boyfriend, and yeah, that whole thing. I remember seeing a lot of TikTok psychics that were saying, like, it wasn't him, or, they were just like, and that's kind of like it feels like a modern form of it, because they're not collecting money directly from the family, right? But, like, they are collecting views and likes, and that's sick.
Wow.
Especially,
that is,
and it happens a lot. And this was when she was missing. It was not even when they found her body. And so that's disgusting. Yeah. And if you, I kind of do now, but I used to read a lot, or not read a lot, listen to a lot of, listen and, like, watch a lot of true crime stuff. And usually when people go missing, especially children, that's, like, the first thing. And that's usually what happened, like what happened with him. That's usually the first thing that happens, is that they get a bunch of calls from psychics saying that they know where their kid is, or they know what happened.
Wow. That part of the movie reminded me of, like, The Prestige, but instead of, like, trying to entertain someone with, like, these ridiculous things, and they're, like, what they said in the movie, like, spook show, emotionally draining you of, like, I don't know. And
they know it's bad. And even Toni Collette, who, like, kind of does this for a living, she was like, don't do it.
Oh, yeah. He learned.
A couple more. Oh.
No, he learned how like, messy it could get.
Exactly. He got too greedy. Giada Colagrande, the wife of Willem Dafoe, plays the Spider-Woman in The Carnival.
Oh, no way. Okay.
That's his wife. So as of January 2022, Ezra Grindle pays Stan $10,000 per session. And what I meant by as of January 2022 is that with inflation on that day, like on that month, that equates to an average of $197,732. That's how much he pays per session.
He's getting paid.
Yeah. All right, last one is kind of a trivia one. So the cast includes 6 Oscar nominees. Can you name them all?
Oscar nominees?
Mm-hmm.
Bradley Cooper.
Yes.
Toni Collette.
Yes.
Rooney Mara.
Mm-hmm.
Willem Dafoe.
Yes. 2 more.
Kate Blanchett.
Nope.
Wow.
She's a winner, I think. 2 more, and I'll give you a hint. They're men.
David Strathairn.
Yeah. 1 more.
Richard Jenkins.
There you go.
Nice.
Right. You know what, though? If somebody was trying to pay me $200,000 per session, I'd also be a psychic.
Yeah. Right.
I, too, am psychic.
Yeah, if anyone listening, I know where you lost your wallet. I know where it is. It
Somebody
misses you dearly.
that's listening is going to get a notice to vacate. Oh, wait. I'm kidding. And it's Patrick Wilson. He's listening.
I relate. I relate. That's funny.
It's like the alien got a notice to vacate the moon. All right, let's go. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'll see you next episode. Hopefully I'll have a place. My name will be on a lease somewhere.
Anything can happen.
Bye.